Let's go Scoop Up Net on Hoopa. Send up the Tapu Koko. So this is really the strategy that I was talking about. You send up the Tapu Koko, you go ahead, put down the Hoopa, you can get the energy back with the training court, you can then attach that energy to the Hoopa, and then you're going to go retreat, send up Hoopa, and then you're going to attack for 90. You are now watching Zach Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, Zach Lesage here. Today we're going to be covering over a cool new deck that I haven't really seen too much talk about. It's Galarian Moltres, the baby one. Ross Cawthon seems to be the player that's popularized this deck. I've seen a lot of players been playing it, and most recently, my really good friend and testing partner, Logan McKay, was able to win the Turtwig Den with this deck. So I'm going to be covering over the deck profile, some gameplay, all that good stuff, and we're going to see where this deck is at. I really hope that you like it, and the list is in the description if you want to copy and paste into PTCGO and learn a little bit more about this deck. Let's jump into this deck profile. So here's the deck, and the deck revolves around using Galarian Moltres during the late game. It has the ability Malevolent Charge, and when you play this card from your hand to your bench, you can attach 2 dark energy cards from your hand to this Pokemon. This deck makes it pretty easy because you have a decent bit of darkness energies, you have training courts, and you also have access to quite a few energy search. Fiery Wraith does 20 damage plus 50 for each damage counters your opponent's prize, or for each prize card your opponent's taken. So that's why you want to play in the late game, because your opponent's hopefully taken some prize cards then. Use Galarian Moltres willingly to knock out your opponent's Pokemon. In the meantime, to make sure that that happens, or in a case where you're trying to just attack with things, you have access to Galarian Moltres V to get some of those energies in your discard pile, build up a Pokemon. It's a strong attacker against something like Mew or Dragapult. Of course, this is also strong against Mew or Dragapult. We also have Hoopa. So this attack isn't affected by weakness, but you can kind of go Tapu Koko, free retreat every single turn into Hoopa, and continuously just hit your opponent's Pokemon for 90. It doesn't really sound like a lot, but after a few Hoopas are knocked out, these Pokemon do add up with Fiery Wraith and stuff like that, or Wrath, and it just does enough damage to get the knockout. Pyukumuku is a simple draw another card. You have access to the Shady Dealings engine to search your deck for whatever you need, Quick Shooting to add some extra damage counters, and again Shady Dealings to search whatever you need. Scoop Up Net's a great way to get around in this deck and just build up, just kind of attack, and after a Hoopa doesn't get knocked out, or if it does, you could go Scoop Up Net, Tapu Koko, again attack with Assault Gate. So the deck is pretty, how do I put it? It revolves around and it doesn't necessarily lose resources. It also plays Klara, an underutilized card. You could choose one or both, choose up to 2 Pokemon cards from your discard pile, and put them into your hand, and put up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand, which works incredibly well with this ability. So the deck is a powerful single prize card attacking deck, and it seems like it can just do well against the metagame, especially with Mew being weak to dark. So let's check out some gameplay, see exactly how this deck works. So our opponent here is going to call the coin flip, and we won the coin flip. Yo, let's go. I think we might actually want to go second with this deck. I'm still trying to figure it out, but you want to know what? We're going to go first and get set up. The reason why I'm saying we might want to go second is because if we have a Hoopa in the active spot, it might be better for us to go ahead or just try to attack with Assault Gate as early as possible. The reason why I'm opting to go second is to get set up with Sobbles and other cards like that. So you want to know what? We're going to go ahead here and put Sobble up in the active spot so that we can stay true to Assault Gates. Maybe our hand would not have been able to allow us to attack early on. Then we'll see exactly what our opponent flips over. Okay, so Crobat of some sort, not entirely sure what we're really dealing with. We could also discard cards like this relatively early because of Klara to get back during the late game. It doesn't really matter too much, but we could also just hold it onto our bench. It's really up to us. I am going to go for Energy Search, grabbing a Dark Energy, and I'm going to use another Energy Search just to really kind of go through the deck. I'm going to grab another one, see exactly what's prized. You can see, oh, we do have our other Galarian Moltres. So far we have a decent bit of stuff. We want to look for things like Klara. Doesn't really look like too much is prized. We have to worry about our Scoop Up Nets, where we do have 2 copies of that prize. We do have a Training Court prize, but nothing really serious. So we will grab the other energy there. I am going to go Quick Ball on this Marnie. I think it's better for us just to grab another Sobble in case anything happens to the active one. We have our Hoopa going here. Do we want to attach to the Hoopa? That's a real question. I'm under the impression that it's usually better to attach to the Hoopa, but it might just be better for us to attach to the Sobble. Although if our opponent does get a knockout, I really don't know what they're playing. Let's go attach to the Hoopa. They're likely not going to do anything to it. And I'm going to hold on to everything else at this point. Depending on what we top deck, I might play this a little bit differently. So let's go ahead and pass here. We might decide to go for the Malevolent Charge and try to build up the Galarian Moltres. We might go for a few other things. Also, while I'm looking at it, it looks like our opponent's either like Gengar? Looks like it's probably Gengar. This should be an okay matchup because they are a VMAX deck. Those decks typically don't do very well against single prize card decks. And if anything, this looks like it's my list of Gengar very close. Now they have gone through a decent bit of resources, but our goal is to really just knock them out as we see fit. Now we could go Level Ball and find a way to make things happen. I think Level Ball might just be the best choice. So let's go ahead here and go Level Ball. Search our deck for a Drizzile. Drizzile is probably going to grab a Scoop Up Net, and then we're going to evolve the other one. Do we have another Energy Search? We do not. We might actually retreat this one and just grab a Training Quartz. Yeah, I think we're going to grab a Training Court. That sounds like the play to me. So let's go Drizzile like that. And we can also bump our opponent's Tower of Darkness. So I think that sounds like an okay play. Just trying to make sure that we have energies in play to do things. Now let's go ahead, retreat here. Let's go Training Courts, goes in play. We do want to have the energy, and we are going to go ahead here and go for Galarian Moltres. We are going to attach an energy just in case our opponent gets a knockout, so we have it built up a little bit. And I don't really want to waste it based off our hands. Let's go for another Sobble. Let's draw another card here with Pitch a Pyukumuku. See what we get there. Tapu Koko here wouldn't be too bad, and that's exactly what we're going to be going for. I think Tapu Koko sounds like the play. Now, I don't really have a way to build up the Galarian Moltres V. It seems like it's just going to be a casualty to whatever deck that they have. So really not going to go play around with that one. Let's grab the Tapu Koko so we can kind of play around with that. Getting double Klara early is really not what we're looking for, but we are just going to go Assault Gate. We could also just like pass a few turns with this deck too, depending on how our opponent reacts. We want them to start taking knockouts. The fact that they are playing Umbreon makes me wonder if they are playing Single Striker. Okay, they are playing Gengar Umbreon. Very similar deck, but they might be able to bring up things like Galarian Moltres. So we want to try to play those down all at once. Is really going to be our thing here. So we don't need to worry about too much. We have Klaras to get back some of our resources if anything were to happen there. We're just relatively vibing with when it comes to this deck. And remember, we want to counter our opponent's prize cards so we can kind of hit with Galarian Moltres as the game progresses. Okay, so they're going to go Mean Look. Again, we don't want to lose our Klaras, so let's go ahead here and go Evolution Incense, search our deck for a Drizzile, and I think we're going to play a Marnie here, just so we could put those resources at the bottom of our deck, because we don't want to pitch them away, but our hand's not good enough to make things happen. We could go Scoop Up Nets and put 90 damage down. I really don't like that because I'm still stuck in this hand of I don't really have much. So I'm fine to rather like pass the turn and not get the Scoop Up Net, but if we just got a Scoop Up Net, we get it anyways. So we can go ahead here and go Level Ball, Scoop Up Net, attach an energy, and we could be relatively chilling. So let's go Level Ball, Drizzile, Scoop Up Nets. And our opponent's likely going to knock us out the next turn, so we probably don't have to worry about it too much. We could also go after this Crobat and really start putting some pressure on our opponent's Pokemon in future turns, so bosses might not be too bad. Let's go Scoop Up Net on Hoopa, send up the Tapu Koko. So this is really the strategy that I was talking about. You send up the Tapu Koko, you go ahead, put down the Hoopa, you can get the energy back with the Training Court, you can then attach that energy to the Hoopa, and then you're going to go retreat, send up Hoopa, and then you're going to attack for 90. So while it doesn't seem like a lot, the quick shooting Inteleons can really start adding up, and our opponent doesn't really know what's going on with our deck at this point. If they get the knockout on the Hoopa, we're kind of just vibing out, sending up another Hoopa, because we go through 6 Pokemon. So 6 times 90 really adds up to our opponent's board. That's not even counting as Galarian Moltres increases with damage. That's just attacking with Hoopa. So really basic numbers, but our opponent can't really get around the HP barriers. Okay, so they're going to bring up that one. That's fine. We could just go ahead and retreat the Drizzile, get the energy back, hit for another 90. I think that sounds like a relatively strong plan. We did get the Scoop Up Net, which would have been really nice, actually. But that's okay. You want to know what? We are going to go ahead and... You want to know what? We're probably going to get a Scoop Up Net out of the prize cards soon enough. So I am going to build up the Moltres. And I'm going to Scoop Up Net the Drizzile first. So let's go Drizzile, Scoop Up Net here. Just so we're ready for Fiery Wrath. Or Wraith, whatever it's called. I'm bad at pronouncing things. Y'all know this by now. Let's go Marnie, put this under. So we're ready to, again, we're streaming this Assault Gates. And we do have access to another Inteleon. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. Because Inteleon can then grab out another Inteleon. How do I want to make this happen? I probably want to just grab a Pyukumuku to try to draw another card. So let's go for pitch a Pyukumuku, draw another card, and we're going to rotate through this deck pretty well. That's pretty much what we were looking for, not going to lie. So let's go for Inteleon. We are going to go Inteleon. We're going to grab a Quick Ball. And I think I want to grab an Evolution Incense just so we have access to another Drizzile to do things next turn. We are going to go Quick Ball away at Dark because we can get that back with Training Quartz. Put Tapu Koko down on our bench, so we're vibing with that. We have access to the Quick Shooting, so we can start getting those knockouts plans. Going to get our energy back because we do want to have access to those. Quick Shooting, we do likely want to put it there, or if they draw another prize cards, they're going to be at 120. So we actually don't want to put it there. We're going to go ahead and start putting it on the Crobat. I think that sounds like a little bit better. We can hit the Crobat a few more times and get the knockout there. Maybe that's the play. It's hard to place damage counters early, but like I feel like we're in such a good spot that it doesn't necessarily matter. We could have placed it on the active, but we could also just like, maybe they'll knock at our Quick Shooting and then I'm not really worried because then we attack with Moltres. So in terms of like right now, the damage counters probably don't matter. The Crobat seems like something I might want to aim against. Their Gengar actually doesn't do too much against this particular matchup. The reason why is because we don't have any V Pokemon in play, so their Fear and Panic's not going to be doing too much. Their GMAX Swallow Up is a little bit overpowered to be knocking out 120 HP Pokemon. Typically, those attacks are reserved towards more VMAXs. They want to be attacking with things that could get knockouts. Crobat wouldn't even be a bad attacker. Using Umbreon V would be a much better attacker. They might just attack with Gengar V, but we'll see how things play out. We just want to get as close to drawing as many prize cards as possible and really just like finessing these prize cards as the game goes forward. So there's our Max Darkness, that's fine. Now we can get the knockout with Galarian Moltres, so we can see how the prize cards work. This is really a big moment. So we have the free retreat from the Tapu Koko, and that's going to be the first step. We have access to another Dark Energy here for Galarian Moltres. We can counter our opponent's prize cards. We're doing 120 to their active, which is more than enough to knock them out. So there's the Galarian Moltres. This is where the deck really powers itself up over time. If there's anything else that we're looking for, I mean, right now we're relatively chilling. We could go for another Hoopa to get the knockout with a Quick Shooting, but again, we are going to go with Quick Shooting here just to start building that up. I don't really want to mess around with what's going on in my hands. I am going to go Training Court here, and I'm going to leave my board state the way it is. I don't want to mess my really good hand. We have the Evolution Incense, we have the Drizzile, we have a Marnie. Depending on what our opponent goes, if they try to knock at the Sobble, I'm totally cool to get another attack off with Moltres. So let's go ahead here, retreat into the Galarian Moltres, and we are ready to knock out our opponent's Umbreon. So we're going to use Fiery Wrath. Fiery Wrath? Yeah, we're going to use Fiery Wrath, and we are going to knock out this Pokemon. So overall, we have some really good maneuvers so far to really get around these Pokemon. We got one of their prize Training Courts, another Level Ball is certainly great, and getting a Scoop Up Net is also huge. So as we progress through this game, like we can knock out Crobat and just like another Houndoom. we already just jumped our opponent's prize cards, and again, we're still in a very good spot. We could go ahead and go Drizzile, grab Klara, and then we're just set up to hit our opponent for 170 in the active. So we really just force our opponent to draw these prize cards turn after turn after turn. And you got to think, we're just playing against a deck that's not weak to dark. This could have easily been a Mew matchup. It could have been a lot of things, right? So there's Dark Slumber. That's not enough for a knockout. We could go ahead and Scoop Up Net this Pokemon. Now, we don't really need too much. Like, we don't have a lot that we need to be doing. So maybe it's better for us to go ahead here and Scoop Up Net this Pokemon, start building up those energies, maybe getting a Hoopa out. Right now, I don't think it's worthwhile. We could go Scoop Up Net, knockout Boss. Again, I'm really not worried about what we could be doing against our opponent's deck. So let's go ahead here. And I think we could actually clear this game out next turn. That's probably the biggest thing, is that we could clear this game up next turn. So we're going to go ahead and search for this. Do we have another Drizzile deck? We do have another Drizzile deck. So I'm going to grab a Klara right now because I don't think our opponent's going to play a Marnie on us. And if they do, they do. We're going to go Level Ball, search our deck for another Sobble. So we're still chilling. And I don't really want to knock out our opponent's active Pokemon. We don't have a way. We can only do 120 to their active. I don't think it's worthwhile to do that. Maybe it is, and we're set up to win the game the following turn. You want to know what? Maybe we will just go ahead and make that play. It's probably better for us to just get more damage counters in play than not. So let's go Scoop Up Net onto the Galarian Moltres. You can see how this works out, because you can then go Training Court, build up another energy, and we're going to drop this Pokemon down and fully power it up with Malevolent Charge, attach another energy, retreat, and then we're going to hit for 120. Next turn, we're ready to go knockout onto a Gengar VMAX. If they knock us out, we could go Klara, get back the Pokemon, get back a couple energies, Training Court the third energy back. We could also go Quick Shooting. We have Boss knockouts. We have a lot of things that we can do. And it looks like our opponent's probably just going to concede this game. That's what we have going on for gameplay today. I think this video showed a lot what this deck could do, especially against a VMAX deck. Obviously, as a single prize card deck, it can hold its own against those. It will lose to decks like Jolteon VMAX and Rapid Strike Urshifu because your bench is such a target. But if we're able to knock out Pokemon like Gengar VMAX and Umbreon VMAX, you can only imagine what we're going to be doing when we're doing double damage to a Mew VMAX that also has no way to draw multiple prize cards. So I think if I were to just show that in a game, it's literally just me showing the same thing twice, and I'd rather the video be more concise and really showing you what the strategy could do instead of me just bopping a Mew VMAX just cuz. So Galarian Moltres might be the real deal as we kind of progress through everything and see exactly what's going on. I think this deck is really cool, and again, shout out to Ross Cawthon or whoever else was involved creating this deck. I don't want to get it mixed up or anything else like that. And congrats to my homie Logan for taking down the Turtwig Den with this deck. So that being said, give the deck a whirl. If you are looking to pick up any of these cards online, you could go to PTCGO put in code Lesage5 to save 5% on your next order of codes. So totally do that. That's also in the description, along with the deck list and all the other great stuff. I'll catch up with everyone later. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out and have yourself a great... I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.